Got some Auburn, Washington action going here. Auburn, Washington police search for the Kia boys who stole the deputy mayor's Kia while she was being deputized. Yeah, she had it parked right outside City Hall. They stole it from there. They're still looking for the kids. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Those in favor of Cheryl Rees for mayor, please raise your hand. That is a majority of the council, and by council vote, congratulations, new Deputy Mayor Rees.
Inside City Hall, cause for celebration. Cheryl Rees voted in as Auburn's new deputy mayor. Outside, chaos. Auburn police tell me 4 kids were leading law enforcement on a chase, driving in the new deputy mayor's stolen car. This is the street that investigators tell me those kids stole the deputy mayor's car. It's on the backside of City Hall, and only city council members can park here. The child thieves escaped police, but ditched the council member's car at the Madison at River's Edge Apartments. The complex is a 10-minute drive from where the car was stolen and the location of a double shooting Fox 13 Seattle covered in 2022. While Rake's car was found, the ignition column was damaged, and the crook stole her stuff.
That's why Rees. Excused?
At the start of the council meeting, Rees was MIA during roll call. In a statement, she said she parked her Kia Soul at 5:30. By 6:30, it was gone. Could this be the return of the Kia boys? For months, the Kia boys terrorized Western Washington. Car theft spiked throughout the region, all thanks to kids using TikTok to learn how to steal Kias and Hyundais. What Auburn police tell me, according to the most recent data they have, stolen vehicles are down this year. Reporting in Auburn, AJ Janavel.
So I did a little research. The individual whose car got stolen, she's a Democrat. She's a reasonable Democrat. She didn't go down the whole road of, hey, let's defund the police and a bunch of crazy stuff. It looks like her dad was a firefighter. Auburn is a smaller town south of downtown Seattle. But Auburn has had some crime along with Kent. I mean, they've just had some escalating crime. And, whether or not this is the Kia boys, who knows? Kia boys were a bunch of kids that were just running around stealing Kias and Hyundais because their ignition systems allowed them to be basically overridden by using a USB drive to start them and then drive them off. My son's Kia was stolen from a very nice neighborhood in where he lives, Madison Park in Seattle. I mean, it's not necessarily whether or not it's the Kia boys. It's just that this kind of activity, and especially activity, felony activity by kids in the state of Washington is tolerated because they know absolutely nothing is going to happen to them. We've just got this misguided compassion. We've got this misguided, justice reform idea, which has led us to this place where kids can run around and steal the deputy mayor's car a half an hour before she's deputized. This is literally right out in front. You saw AJ just hit the sign and said, it literally says City Hall employees, whatever it said. So, I mean, this story here is just kind of it's a symptom. It's a symptom of what you've got going on in the Pacific Northwest, where crime is accepted. Property crime is sky high, and stolen vehicles. We've got some of the highest numbers of stolen vehicles in the nation. We've got some of the highest crime figures in the nation. And it's because, those committing the crimes know that they're going to get a hall pass. They know that they can commit these crimes over and over and over again. And because of this revolving justice system, get these big Democrat areas have become accustomed to, nothing ever gets solved. And let's get through this article here. Auburn police say a group of children stole the car. 4 kids were stealing her Kia Soul as she was getting deputized. Complex was the site of a double shooting, is where they ended up dumping the car. They ended up dumping the car about 3 miles away from where this deputy mayor lives. Investigators said the thieves damaged the ignition of the car and stole items from inside the vehicle. That's the exact same thing that happened to my son's car. His car was left running 3/4 of a mile away from his home at a local gas station, and they stole a bunch of stuff, but then they left like some Nike flip-flops. It's like cops figured they left it running. And, the police believe that maybe they were involved with drugs. Who knows? So you've got this kind of stuff on top of yesterday. You had a bus driver murdered. You had a bus driver basically pepper sprayed in the eyes and then dragged off of a bus. And this is in the U District of Seattle. This is the University of Washington. Dragged off a bus and then stabbed in the chest and murdered. It was a homeless dude, probably on drugs. Who knows? Bus driver's dead. He ain't coming back, right? So explain that to his family. Well, we need to have compassion for these people. You got a bunch of people, and the deputy mayor here read a number of comments where she has indicated, hey, yeah, we need some more help with the mentally ill. We need some more help with those who are homeless. We need some more help with those who are on drugs. And it's true. But, if you're a Democrat, you need to really take a hard look and say, hey, we need to kind of cross over that line. We need to get more into the red here, because until that happens, nobody's going to feel safe. And without public safety, you got nothing. Go ahead, ride the bus. We'll see how that works out. No, I don't know. That bus driver got murdered. Granted, it was like 3:00 in the morning and nothing good happens after about 10 p.m., right? So, it's just one of those crazy stories. So investigators said they used their flock license reading cameras to track the stolen car to Kent and back to Auburn. You've just got all kinds of criminal activity going on in Kent and in Auburn. Small communities, but they are rife with crime. And read stories all the time from Kent and Auburn. I don't publish a lot of them because most of them are kind of small one-off incidents. But this one here caught my attention from the standpoint of even City Hall, where you should have cops galore and watching. Even City Hall, even an identified area where you park isn't immune from this kind of stuff. Let's keep going here. Yeah. Auburn City Council member's car stolen at City Hall during meeting. Deputy Mayor Rakes, are you here? No, I gotta go talk to the police because my car got jacked. I mean, how terrible. This article here from Jason Rantz, KTTH. He had Deputy Mayor Cheryl Rees on and spoke with her. If you want to check that out, it's on KTTH, Conservative Talk Radio here in Seattle. I know it's an oxymoron, Conservative Talk Radio in Seattle, but it does happen, right? I mean, it does have. You got, a YouTuber or two doing that kind of thing. I went out to my car about 6:30 to grab a couple of things and noticed my car was gone. Just boom, gone. I mean, that's just so disheartening. And yet, this is common. This is common. How many podcasts have I done about cars being stolen from SeaTac, the airport, or hotels around the airport? I mean, they're happening like 4 a day. It's an epidemic because we've gotten so soft on crime in the Pacific Northwest and specifically state of Washington. We've gotten so soft on crime that these criminals know they're going to get away with it and they're just not going to do any time. And even in this interview here, Deputy Mayor basically says, Jason Rantz asks her, hey, what do you think's going to happen to those kids? And she goes, probably nothing. And he asked her, what do you think should happen? Well, something should happen to them. You got to drop the hammer on these kids because, Grand Theft Auto is Grand Theft Auto. You need to start charging these kids as adults, put them in adult prison and see how that works out. Scare the bejesus out of them. I don't care. You gotta start pushing that pendulum back the other way. You gotta get people's attention. And maybe if they're kids, their 16-year-old kid who's on charges for, stealing somebody's car gets put in lockup with Bubba. Maybe they'll think twice the next time. Hey, you want to go steal some Hyundais and some Kias? Maybe they'll think twice about that. Nah, still can't sit down. Oh, yeah. In addition, the car's windows were damaged. Deputy Mayor added that she's incredibly grateful to the Auburn Police Department. You know what? In all of this, there's a bunch of good cops just trying to do their job. You got all these storylines in Seattle right now. Wanted to say Deputy Chief Adrian Diaz, former Chief of Police Adrian Diaz, former interim Police Chief Adrian Diaz. He was fired from the Seattle Police Department because he had this affair and he didn't disclose it and he lied about it with a former Fox reporter. Just all of this drama going on. And you've got all these stories going on as well. But, as all of these stories are happening, you've got a bunch of police officers that are just trying to do their job. So, meanwhile, all this craziness going on, 10 people being stabbed in Seattle's International District, King County Metro no longer stopping at 12th Avenue South and South Jackson Street because it's too dangerous. Bus driver getting stabbed in the chest, murdered. I mean, you got some real nonsense going on. And, Seattle Police Department, now you've got Auburn here in the headlines. I mean, you've just got some major stuff going on. And so much of it has to do with we have this soft on crime policy because you are not seeing these stories coming out of red states, red cities like this. You don't have these shenanigans happening. They're just not happening because they have a tough on crime stance. Hey, you commit a crime? There isn't going to be this diversion program. You're going to go right to jail. You're going to go to prison. And so if people get busted, there's really no, isn't this, if they could just get a 45th, diversion to treatment or whatever for their criminal activity, maybe, just maybe they'll turn that corner. No, hey, you get 5 years for this. Good luck with that. And at least they're off the streets for 5 years. So you need to start incarcerating some of these kids, period. This whole nonsense of the way that we handle criminal activity in the state of Washington and in a lot of big blue run states, it's not conducive to public safety, period. So Deputy Mayor goes on to say, no, I don't feel like I was targeted. I think it was because it was the Kia. Probably they saw a Kia and went, yep, let's go ahead and steal it. So here's Cairo 7. So I called my husband and said, did you come pick up the car? And he's like, no. I mean, that's one of those things where you're like, this cannot have happened out in front of City Hall. Could it? Yeah, it did. They caught the kids with the camera system, which detect license plates on stolen vehicles. Any of that kind of stuff that works, I'm all for. Are we headed to a state where we have constant surveillance? Probably. I mean, aren't we kind of there already? And yet guys like Luigi, who kills a CEO of a healthcare company, major healthcare company that did more denials than any other company on the planet, they couldn't catch him for how long? He was on the run for a while. All he had to do was get on an airplane and go somewhere else, and that guy would have been on the run, right? Rakes hopes that what happened to her can open the eyes of lawmakers in Olympia on how the state needs to be harder on teen crime. There also needs to be accountability. And right now, they know that they're not being held accountable, Rakes said. Why is that? Why do we have so many laws on the books here in Washington that have allowed this to take place? Why is that? You don't have that kind of nonsense going on in big red cities. You just don't. You've got crime, but not this kind of crime where they basically just blatantly flaunt the system because they can. And it's because we've had, years and years and years, decades of Democrat-led leadership in this state. So, I saw a notice yesterday. It's one of my topics today. They're going to connect. They're going to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars studying how to connect Portland to Seattle to Vancouver, BC. I mean, might sound just, hey, that's great. Those are some of the biggest homeless, with people with mental issues, with drug issues. Those three cities here, West Coast, Best Coast, I mean, you are providing a pipeline, a 250 mile an hour pipeline to let those folks just meander between those three cities. Sounds like a genius plan. Kind of like, hey, let's shut down the bus route and, international district. Meanwhile, you got literally a bus driver getting stabbed. So I'm sure the homeless drug addicts, commuting between the cities. Hey, did you get busted in Seattle? Well, head up to Vancouver, BC, 250 miles an hour. Should work out fine. Got a lot of issues. West Coast, Best Coast. You got a lot of issues that need to be worked out before ridiculous stuff like that goes on. We just need the high-speed rail. And by that, I mean like that Japanese rail at 250 miles an hour. What could go wrong? Well, that also allows the criminal element that's whacked out to do the same thing and not pay, because we're not charging for any of this stuff here in Seattle. I don't know about Portland and I don't know about Vancouver, BC, but you hop on any of our light rail here, there's nobody who will enforce tolls because, it's Democrat run. We just let anything go. It's okay. We spend billions getting this thing together, but you don't have to pay. I mean, it's on the honor system. You're supposed to, scan your app. Doesn't happen. Meanwhile, lawmakers getting their car jacked. You know what? To me, seems about right. This is what you get. This is what you voted in. This is what you wanted. Here you are. Do we need some accountability? Absolutely. Are we willing to start looking at changing some of the laws to make that happen? I don't think so. I just don't. We're not there. It's just not going to happen. We're going to go, what should we do? I don't understand how we got here. Washington State, King County in particular, ranks at the tippy top for having cars stolen. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of cars here that, there's opportunity. A lot of people drive cars. Nah, it's because the criminals know that they can get away with it and there's no repercussions. There's no accountability because we have this misguided compassion and it's years of leadership, years of decision making. This is what you get. So, the way I always, my glass is half full. It's not half empty because I've got podcasts for days. I just do. This stuff is going to keep on going. We got years and years and years of this stuff going on. It's going to keep going. It's the way I see it. All right. Thanks so much for joining. I'll catch up with you in the next episode. Bye for now.